The U.S. Supreme Court is hearing two major cases that could determine the future of affirmative action in higher education.
Now, the High Court's ruling could not only have a dramatic impact on universities, but on employment law as well. Denver 7's Jessica Porter has a look at just how this will impact us in Colorado. Jess?
Well, the Supreme Court heard legal arguments on those two cases for nearly 5 hours today. The court's largely leaning conservative justices are expected to roll back 40 years of policy, but it's unclear how broad or narrow the ruling could be. Affirmative action is a policy of taking a student's race or ethnicity into account during the admissions process in order to overcome the historical injustices of racism and segregation. Schools are not allowed to have quotas. A conservative advocacy group seeks to have a blanket ban on the practice, arguing there is no place for racial classification in higher education, while attorneys for University of North Carolina and Harvard argue affirmative action creates diversity, which benefits every student's education.
If the applicants win, almost every school in the country will have to change their admissions policies to, at the very least, take much less account of race. And the consequence of that, to be honest, will be substantially lower diversity in higher education.
In August, more than 80 major U.S. companies, including Apple, General Electric, and Starbucks, asked the Supreme Court to uphold affirmative action at college campuses, calling it a critical tool to building a diverse workforce. Since the 1990s, a number of states have banned affirmative action. Colorado, though, is not one of them. CU chancellors released a statement today saying they are following the Supreme Court cases closely and their policies are consistent with existing law, adding, quote, "Doing so makes us a stronger, more inclusive university because of the different people, ideas, experiences, and viewpoints that comprise the CU community." Now, there is one Colorado university that would be unaffected, and that is MSU Denver. It is Colorado's only modified open access university, so students who are at least 20 years old with a high school diploma or GED are automatically admitted by state statute. MSU says 54% of its student body are people of color. Live in the studio, Jessica Porter, Denver.